Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, March 3rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about the tool of charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick right there you see will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Stock number one here, NIO. And I don't mean to state the obvious, but I will just to build context. Very, very impressive move. A pretty crazy day when you think about the fact that the price gapped down, came all the way down here, and is now bounced all the way back up there, which brings about the more than valid question of okay, yeah, very nice bounce, but is there any sort of genuine power behind this bounce? Is there any sort of true strength, or is this just some sort of dead cat bounce where there's no genuine power? And like I said, I have no idea, but by using charts, we can make answering that question very straightforward. And in my mind, it's all about that green level that I talked about in yesterday's video down here at 875, but for a different reason. Why is that level now so important? And I'm not saying this will occur, but for example's sake, let's say the price comes down here, bounces around, and then comes back up. What would you have in this situation? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You would have a set of lows right there. If you envision each one of those as stair steps, what do you have? Well, you have stair steps making progress in the upwards direction, and that's what a truly strong move is going to do. On the flip side of things, let's say the price comes down here, but then breaks down below it. What do you have in this situation? Now you have the price having gone right back to where it was, and not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power or true strength. So again, is this bounce strong? Let's see if it can make progress. How is quote unquote progress being defined? By staying above that green line there, again at $8.75. In terms of levels of resistance, kind of a double whammy right now. You have the overall level that I talked about previously up there from yesterday's video at 915. Then you also have that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So they're both right around each other. So that'll be the main dynamic. But overall, in my opinion, the most important question is this the start of something much bigger? Is there strength? Let's just see if it can show signs of progress. Next one here, XELA, huge amount of volume today and a good amount of price movement. And just from a technical point of view, really like it because there's just such a well-defined breakout area. And this is not some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you a lot of people have noticed this level. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So there are no guarantees, but my point here is that if the price comes back up to this area of resistance and gets the push up through there, it's very plausible to think that that break in and of itself could very well create that much more buying pressure, that much more upside momentum. So if you like to play breakouts, definitely keep an eye on that. If you like to play more so pullbacks, and the key area to watch is going to be that pink line, which on my chart denotes the famous 200-period moving average. And you can see right there why it's famous. I mean, just beautifully bounced right off that level. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, if you more so like to play pullbacks. But as far as breakouts, like I said, I think everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching that resistance area right there. So let's see if the price can indeed get the break. Next one, TRKA, and I've been tracking this one very routinely, and once again, a good problem to have when I'm sitting here as a broken record saying higher highs and higher lows, because that is definitely the name of the game. So first we're going to do is a little house cleaning to get rid of that level. It's served its purpose for now. And the first big update, always a good update when you have to make this one, while assuming you're bullish, is that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you then want to see them act as support moving forward. So whenever red lines are getting changed to green lines, that's always a good sign. So one of the newest areas of support here at the 48-cent mark. In terms of levels of resistance, key dynamic to watch is going to be right here at this 58-cent mark. So for those of you that maybe more so like to visualize things as patterns, we have resistance, we have support, we have the nice upwards move right there. So if you want to call it a bull flag pattern, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But overall, nice movement, nice trend, higher highs, higher lows. That's the name of the game. So we'll see if it can continue into Friday. Next one here, CDIO, same general idea, but just at a pricier stock. The TRKA was penny stock. This one's up over almost at the $10 mark now, but higher highs, higher lows, and we have ourselves a good solid pattern. So I'm going to go get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. And as I already talked about, this is not me not trying to impress you, not trying to imply that this is a special skill. I assure you a lot of people have drawn this pattern. So we have, once again, that whole talking topic of self-fulfilling prophecies, but you got to think that a lot of people have drawn that trend line right there. And then a lot of other people have put in this support level down here at that pullback area at the $6 mark. And then once again, to keep things maybe more visual, keep it the same color, resistance, support, Big upwards move there. Difference here, this would probably be more of a bull pennant pattern, so to make it more visual, let's put the golf hole down here for you golfers. So bull pennant pattern, as I've said, no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that if the price comes up here and gets the break up through that pattern, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. So if you're not maybe a trader of penny stocks, but you like to play higher price stocks and you like bullish patterns such as bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, and momentum continues to the downside, although I will say not a huge amount of volume today, so it's not like this was some sort of massive bloodbath. Case in point, if there had been that amount of volume today, that's a much different story, but nonetheless, still was a red day, so updates need to be made here. First update, just based on that foundational rule in charting, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So right there, as I mentioned in the earlier one, whenever levels or whenever red lines are getting converted to green from a bullish standpoint, that is a good thing. But from a bullish standpoint, whenever green lines are getting converted to red, that would be not a good thing. So that's what we have here. If there is any sort of bounce back in the upwards direction, then $6.50 is going to be that first key level. And then from a support standpoint, already talked about previously, but all eyes are going to be on that pink line there, which, as I said earlier, that represents on my charts the 200 period moving average, currently valued at 577. So if the price were to break below there, again, nobody can say there's a guarantee, but it seems plausible that could probably cause more people to wave the white flag and cash out, creating that much more almost a self-fulfilling prophecy momentum to the downside. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, because as of right now, the price is not even down at that level. But no, going forward, 650 key level of resistance, and then 577 key level of support. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage to get signed up. Now, one special note, it is a true, genuine live event. So if you're like me, you got a bunch of kids, or you just got a busy life. Like I said, I got 5 kids. I understand if you have something on your schedule already, so maybe you can attend live, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you just completely missed it. It will be recorded. So if you want, go ahead, drop me an email, as you can see there on the screen, and I would be happy to send you a link to the recording after it's been done. But like I said, because it's a live event, it's first got to happen, and then I would be happy to get it uploaded and then sent to you. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here, ONCS. Talked about this one in yesterday's video, and I'm starting to notice the theme here: higher highs, higher lows. So maybe I should have put these ones in different locations so I could just keep saying the same thing over and over again. But overall, we have ourselves, again, self-fulfilling prophecy pattern. So I say that, like I said, because I'm not trying to impress you. This is not a special skill that I have. You got to think that a lot of people have drawn the same pattern here. So we have the support part of the pattern, 235, and then the resistance breakout right there. And then just to keep this all the same color, resistance, support, nice upwards move here, another bull pennant pattern in motion. And from a volume standpoint, good to see low volume during the consolidation phase, as any textbook will tell you from a volume analysis standpoint. That's what you want to see during consolidation and pullbacks, lower volume. And that's exactly what's going on here. Next one here, DHC, same general idea, good solid pattern, good well-defined level. So key breakout area, at least in my opinion, right up there at the $1.60 mark. And then at the same time, you have this area of support right there via that little trend line that you can draw. So let me change that to green to represent the support. I'm going to start to go through this relatively quickly because you've already heard me say this speech over and over again. But resistance, support, upward move there, golf hole down here, got ourselves another bull pennant pattern. Next one here, DM, and this one's a bit different because in all actuality, as I speak, and like I said, this is why I like to do these when the market's open, because as I talk, you can see this candle is fluctuating, moving around. But as of right now, the breakout has already occurred. So you can see right there, you had that trend line, and then very recently the price is broken above it. So in some senses, yeah, you missed the breakout trade, but it does lead to a question now of, okay, well, but is this breakout the start of something bigger? Now think about that question. You can't ask that question if nothing happens in the first place. If there was never a breakout, then it makes no sense to say, okay, is this the start of something bigger? Well, nothing happened, so nothing's the start of something bigger. But in this situation, a breakout has happened. So sure, maybe you missed that breakout right there, but if this breakout is just the start of a much bigger move, then it's worth keeping an eye on. And that's the idea of a watch list, to find unique, to find interesting situations, and not randomly rush out and buy stuff, but to watch it and see what happens. Like I said, to be fair, maybe this thing just drops right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is the start of a bigger breakout, and this thing is just getting started. So if you like stocks in these sort of situations where a breakout has happened, and now you're going to start to watch them and stalk them and see if more momentum starts to pile back in, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and as somebody that trades it on a very routine basis, in fact, traded it today, I know I will be watching this one with a couple of very, very key levels that I think a lot of people will be watching. But yeah, with the news that came out, not a good day, but you got to think, at least in my mind, and this level that I will be watching, and I don't think I'm alone, so like I said, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, but that 188.50 mark, very, very curious on that level if it comes back into play. Meaning I could see myself being very interested in getting short if it breaks, but I can also see how potentially I could be convinced of trying to go long because, I mean, it has bounced from there before, but the point here being is, there's other dynamics that would factor into it for myself, and that's going to be different for everybody, for each person, but the point here being is you got to think that a bunch of people, whether you're bearish, bullish, in between, don't really care, will be watching the 188.50 as a key level of support. So keep an eye on that. And then the other level that I'll be very curious about, again, just based on the premise that I think a lot of other people are going to be watching it, is right up there at 191.75. Again, I mean, look at the amount of times where the price has just flat out essentially got rejected at that level. So no guarantees, but if the price can come up here and get a good solid break through it, could that break create that much more buying pressure? In my mind, that seems very plausible. So those would be the two main levels that I think myself and a lot of other traders will be watching on Tesla. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ. So if you think the NASDAQ market is going to rise, this one will also rise. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it very popular. And very, very impressive bounce today. No doubt about it, to think that it gapped down here and is now all the way up here. So yeah, good solid bounce, but think back to the whole idea already of, well, let's see if it can make progress and how you have to define progress. And in this situation, the defined progress area is right down here at that green line at 21.35, meaning, and I'm not saying this will occur, but even if the price were to drop all the way down there, bounce around and then start to head back up, you would still be able to say, okay, well, you have a set of lows here. You have that low right there. If you envision those as the stair steps, you still have progress being made in the upwards direction, which really just shows how powerful today was in the sense of that the price could come all the way down there and then still potentially have the opportunity to build a higher low. So like I said, that just shows how big the bounce was. I will say that this candle here forming during the last 30 minutes, suggesting that a pullback is coming. Keep in mind, pullback does not mean an absolute crash back downwards, but, could it keep going up? Of course, absolutely. But this candle right now, like I said, market still got 5 minutes before it closes, is suggesting to me that I'd expect some sort of pullback, even if it's just a gap down. That would not be shocking at all. But if the price just, kicks this candle in the face and says, nope, we're still going to keep going up, then the next key level still does pertain to that red line there. And I just say still does because for those of you longer time viewers, you know that I've been, tracking that red line for quite a bit as the main area of resistance. So keep an eye on that, which puts the key breakout area right up around 22.70. But overall, like I said, very, very impressive bounce today. Does the momentum carry into Friday? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free training. But like I said, if you have something on your schedule already this evening or you just flat out missed it, go ahead, drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link. But like I said, if you can't make it live, then it'll be very soon, Thursday, March 2nd, at 7 p.m. Eastern time this evening. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this, please let me know by doing two easy things. Hit the like button and let me know what you traded today. Let me know what you're watching tomorrow down in the comment section. Those two things really help out the channel. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I'll continue to put these top 10 videos together. So again, get signed up for that class or drop me an email, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.